Hare Krishna, everyone. So let's sing the song. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koro Mohe Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro Mohe Toma bina ke dayalu Jagata samsare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro Mohe Toma bina ke dayalu Jagata samsare Patita pavana hetu Tava avatara Mosama patita prabhu Na paibe ara Aha prabhu nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balukana Karo Ami Borodukhi Daya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava Kripa Bale Pae Chaitanya Nitai Gaura Prema Maya Tanu Pandita Gadadhara Srinivasa Hari Dasa Doyara Sagara Haha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Bhatta Juga Shri Jivaha Prabhu Lokanatha Daya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sange Mage Narottama Dasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Toma bina ke dayalu Jagata samsare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Toma bina ke dayalu Jagata samsare Hare Krishna. So this is normally sung after the Darshanarti time, the morning times. Okay, so here the translation, just I'll read it. My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me because you can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three words. Who can be more merciful than their Lordships? So your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but you will not find greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. So this is written by Narottama Das Thakura, who is already an Acharya. So he's telling these things. My dear Lord Nityananda, you're always joyless. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I'm the most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. Gaura's love embodiment is shown by Gadadhara Pandita, Srinivasa Pandita, and Haridas Thakur are the ocean of mercy. O Swarup Damodara, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O six Goswamis, O Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, O Lokanatha Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottama Dasa also prays for your mercy. O Srinivas Acharya, successor of six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottama Dasa always desired the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti. So these all are associates of Lord Chaitanya. And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, so you will get all these people and their description and everything, who these people are, how great these devotees are of Lord Chaitanya, and his followers and his devotees. Okay, so this is written by Narottama Das Thakura. So I'll just start sharing the screen of our class today. So that is mantra 15. Mantra. Okay, 1 second. Mantra 15 to 18. Okay, we completed till Ishop. We completed nectar of instruction for the newcomers. I'm just giving the detail till where we completed. So we completed for level 3. There are 3 books. That's the nectar of instruction, Ishopanishad, and nectar of devotion. So we completed already the nectar of instruction, and we have completed Ishopanishad till 14th mantra. And this is the last section of Ishopanishad, that is from 15th to 18th. Today we are going to do. If the time permits, we'll complete. If not, we'll do 2 mantras today and remaining 2 next. Okay, 15 and 16 we'll do here, and 17 and 18 we can go to the next class. So today we are going to deal with the 15th mantra onwards. So you might have question, what will happen to the nectar of instruction which we have missed? So we'll go in rotation. After this book, there is nectar of devotion. So you will all study nectar of devotion with us. And after completing nectar of devotion, level 3 will take a rotation. Again, we'll come to nectar of instruction, which you have missed. And the assignments will be given of the nectar of instruction when you will learn nectar of instruction. So now whatever assignments will be passed, it will be from the chapters we will be doing this week. So don't worry about the previous assignments. You will come back to that assignment when you read it in the rotation. So this is just an introduction to the level 3 for the newcomers today. And there is also Bhakti Vrikshas. Please do participate in Bhakti Vrikshas, because it is meant for reading level 3 books. Okay, whatever books are done today, whatever chapters are done today, Bhakti Vrikshas will assist you in reading them. You will read all the purports written by Srila Prabhupada by the help of Bhakti Vrikshas. So don't miss those Bhakti Vrikshas also. Okay, so just a request to you all, and attend Mangalarati. Many of them are not attending, and for the newcomers, do attend Mangalarati, and it is also a part of level 3, the sadhana. Okay, so do attend. And there is 8 a.m. Bhagavatam class by Mr. Prabhu and Aishwarya Mataji sometimes. So do take advantage of this also. So many of them, they want to go for Bhagavatam after Bhagavad Gita, but it's huge book. So you start from wherever you can. Now it's 3rd canto. Now start learning from there itself. So you can do self-study at the same time. Do attend. Shravanam is very important. So if you have time, whenever you have time, see the recordings or just attend 8 a.m. classes of Bhagavatam in a temple link. Daily Harshali Mataji posts in the group live, and also the Zoom also. So do attend it. And also Mangalarti, do attend. Darshanarti is also important. Do attend it. Okay. Let's move to our class PPT today. Ashwali Mataji, can you see the screen? Okay. Yes. I'll just start with it. We already did a prayer. Okay. So about nectar of instruction is done, and then we come to Ishopanishad. Just an overview of Ishopanishad, what we learned in Ishopanishad, okay, for the beginners, and also just to recap what we learned, okay. So from the first mantra to the third mantra, we did one section. That's one class we did, and what we covered over there, we first covered the Ishavasyam. First was the invocation of Ishopanishad, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam, okay. So don't forget that. So invocation, we understood the Lord is complete, and whatever is animate, which is coming out of him, and whatever is going inside him, that means the creation is also complete by Lord's completeness. So we understood that. And then mantra 1 to 3, what we learned about the Ishavasyam spirit, and we learned about how working in this consciousness works, and the quota, right? We should be satisfied with whatever quota is given to us. And also we understood about Atmaha, that means the killer of the soul. What does that mean? So in the section 2, the next class we learned was the Mahabhagavata, that is the Adhikaris, right? The Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. And Uttama Adhikari is called as Mahabhagavata, or the person Bhagavata, because he is the true seer. That means he saw he understood the absolute truth, and he is seeing the absolute truth in everything. So that we learned. After that, what we learned was mantra 9 to 14. That was the last previous class, and that was of, right, the 9 to 11 we did one, and from 12 to 14 we did. That's the absolute and the relative, right? Knowledge, vidyacha avidya, two kinds of knowledge we learned. Actually, education, the material education and the spiritual knowledge, how they are different, and how the spiritual knowledge is the complete knowledge of the Lord, and material knowledge is just for this body. They do not speak about the soul. And we saw that the terms of in the terms of worship also, we saw how the demigod worship and the impersonal worship is described, and how the Lord says it's in such people are pushed to the darkest place. And then the pseudo religionist people also we saw in this term. And then we saw that how we should approach the Lord in the authority. That's from the 13th mantra. And from the 14th mantra, we understood how we can understand the Lord through Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. Right? First is Nama. That's what the chanting of the name comes first, and then the Lord reveals his Rupa, then his Gunas and the Leelas and paraphernalia. So, and also we understood how important it is to learn about the material world also, right? So that we understood in the till the 14th. So today is what, 15th to 18th. That's the last section of the Ishopanishad, prayers at the time of death, right? We also had in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where the death, the time of death, what is to be remembered, and everything Arjuna was asking, and Krishna answered it. So here also there is prayers at the time of death, prayers of revelation of the Lord's Spirit, form, and mercy at the time of death. So describes the necessity of understanding Krishna in relationship with the material energy. Why? Because we are in the material world. So we cannot directly get a relationship in the spiritual form of the Lord. Then we should take the shelter of the material energy of the Lord, but then to understand Krishna. So that is from 12 to 14, and then from that's we understood in the 12th chapter, 12th mantra to 14th mantra. So what does 15th mantra saying? Explain that one must also understand Krishna's relationship with his spiritual potency, that is the Brahma Jyoti, right? So here in the 15th mantra, the Brahma Jyoti, how we can understand how is Brahma Jyoti covering the Lord, and so many other ways the Lord is shown in the mantra 15. And mantra 16 continues the prayers. Okay, these are the prayers to the Lord. So who is praying here? The Vedas self, they are praying to the Lord. Continues the prayers of mantra 15 for the Lord to reveal his spiritual form. We cannot force the Lord. The Lord has to reveal it by himself. And mantra 17, the prayers emphasizes understanding Krishna at the time of death. And mantra 18 is the concluding prayers of the devotee who desire to achieve Krishna's mercy. That's the goal of a devotee, right? So what are those concluding prayers? Let's understand that also. So this is the mantra 15. What is this saying? Hiranmayena patrena satasya pihitam mukam tattvam pushan apavrano satya dharmaya drishyate. So Hiranmayena patrena. So what is the meaning of this? The translation is, "O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by the dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to the pure devotee." So now, Ishopanishad, in this Ishopanishad, there is a prayers. Okay, so who is praying here, and what is this? So the Vedas itself, they are personified of the Lord, right? So they are itself praying. There are many prayers in Vedas and Upanishads. So who are those Vedas itself are praying here. And here the prayer is that for the removal of the effulgence, dazzling golden effulgence, Hiranmayena Patrena. So we all know the three realizations, the God realization. Can anybody unmute and tell me the new devotees? What are the three steps of God realization? This is an interactive class. Okay. Yes, Nidhi Mataji. What are the three steps of the three levels?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan.
Yes, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Yes. So here, just tell me in which PPT you have seen this animation. Which was that PPT? Which chapter of Bhagavad Gita we show this PPT? We show this slide. Anybody remembers? Which chapter we say about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan? In which chapter in the purport it is written?
Chapter 2.
Yes, chapter 2. Very good. Yeah, chapter 2, right? The Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The Brahman is the effulgence of the Lord, right? That's for the beginners. The Brahman is for the beginners. Yes, 2.3, very good. The Brahman is for the beginners. And then when you still more realize about the Lord, you come to know about his Chatur Bhuja form. That's the Paramatma form. You realize that he is there in everybody's heart. And then you do devotional service, you come to know the Bhagavan feature of the Lord. So what is so special about Bhagavan feature, about the Lord? Why everybody is behind the Bhagavan feature, right? The Brahma Jyoti feature is for the jnanis who take jnana about mental speculation, right? They do speculation on the Brahma Jyoti part of the Lord because they don't know that the Lord has 200 sweet form. They are not aware about that, and they just speculate on the Brahman form. And then the yogis, what they do, the Ashtanga yogis, right? They meditate on the Chaturbuja form of the Lord. That's the Paramatma inside the heart, right? The Dhruv Maharaj, right? Before doing devotional service, he was meditating on the Chaturbuja form of the Lord inside his heart. And that form came in front of him, right? Narada also, the Chaturbuja form of the Lord came in front of him after they meditate, and then they do devotional service for the Lord. Then the Lord reveals the absolute truth. That's the Bhagavan feature. It's for the devotees, bhaktas. The Bhagavan's feature is for the bhaktas. So Hiranmayena Patrena, Brahma Jyoti means golden, dazzling effulgence, right? That's why Krishna says what he says about his abode, right? Natad bhasayate suryo. And anybody chant that shloka? Natad bhasayate suryo. Yes, Usha Mataji.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तत्ताम परमं मम.
What is the meaning of that?
I'm not well versed, Mataji.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yes. Yeah, can anybody tell me the meaning of that? What Krishna is saying there? Yes, Nidhi Mataji.
Mataji, it means that the Lord Supreme Abode is self-effulgent. It doesn't need sun or electricity or anything to light itself. It is self-effulgent, and that is what I think it means, Mataji.
Yadgatvana nivartante taddama paramam nama. Right? Once you enter into that,
you don't come back.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. So here, what is Brahma Jyoti? The effulgence of the Lord. So he says, right, there is no need of sun, moon, electricity, because it is self-effulgent. The abode is self-effulgent. That means the Lord's effulgence, and that effulgence is Brahma Jyoti. Okay, that's very limited knowledge about the Lord. So ordinary living entity, the Jiva, we should never think that we are as powerful as the Supreme Lord. Many of them, they want to see the Lord in so easily, right? People, they want to see the Lord so easily, and sometimes they claim themselves as the Lord, just having some mystic powers. They claim themselves as the Lord, but then here it is said that one should not ever think that he is the supreme, as powerful as the Supreme Lord. If we were powerful, then why would we ask Krishna to reveal his face? Why would we ask Krishna to reveal his face? Because we are Jiva, we cannot see the real face of Krishna, that sweet face, because the Maya is covering us. We should never think that Krishna is also under the Maya. That's offense. So we are covered. We don't know the real face of Krishna, although we seen pictures and paintings, but we cannot understand Krishna so easily. That's why we are Jiva and he is the Lord. So here, right, in the 14.27, what he says, Brahmanohi pratishtaham. I'm the basis of impersonal Brahman. Krishna says, I'm the basis. Brahmanohi pratishtaham. I'm the basis. So from Krishna, the effulgence is coming. That's what Krishna is telling here. The Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal. So in the Satchid Ananda form of the Lord, that's the Satchid Ananda Vigraha, right? That's the Lord's form. In that the Sat posture, the Sat is the only thing that Brahman has, is only Sat. It does not have Chit and Ananda. And when it comes to Paramatma form, the 400 form, it has Sat. That means it is eternal. And it has Chit. It has got all the knowledge. But then it does not give Ananda. The Ananda is only given by Krishna. That's why it is said, right? Anandamayo Bhyasat. That's Krishna. He gives Ananda to the living entities. But Brahman is just the Sat feature of the Lord, that even we are, right? We are also eternal. The Brahman is also eternal. So the Sat feature is the Lord's, the Brahman feature of the Lord. So here, Krishna says again in the 7.7. What is the shloka? 7.7. Yes, Sat. I mean to say the 7.7. What is the shloka? Just seeing the translation. Can anybody tell? Some new hands? Yes. Okay. Kavita. Tell Mataji. Yes. Just try Mataji. Yeah.
O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread.
What is the shloka there? Sanskrit shloka, you remember?
Yeah, I have book Mataji in front of me. Mata parataram nanya atki chita asti dhananjaya mayi sarva midam potam sutre mani gana iva.
Yes. Ramakrishnan Prabhu. Can you chant?
Yes. Matta paradaran mnanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre mani gana iva.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, I'm just memorizing some Bhagavad Gita. That's why we learned Bhagavad Gita first and then we came to these books. Because Prabhupada, most of the time, he quotes from the Bhagavad Gita for this book. So to understand these books, we should know the first basic Bhagavad Gita. So here, what does Krishna says here? Right? Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre maniganaya. Everything is resting upon Krishna. So everything is resting upon Krishna. So this is said here, and everything is coming out of Krishna. So parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is no supreme to the Lord. He is the absolute truth. The Bhagavan feature is the absolute truth of the Lord. So here, the Sat form of the Lord, right? So we understood here the Sat, the feature of the Lord. So when Krishna in Vrindavana, he used to kill the demons, right? Kill the demons. The demons used to get into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. And some of the people, the mystics, they want to merge into the Brahman feature of the Lord. That's what they tell, right? I want to merge with the Lord. So that's the Brahman feature of the Lord, which is very limited. Krishna gives that position, which is merging with the Brahman, to demons who he killed. So we do not want that position, right? We want to serve the Lord's eternal form. So people who think that I'm going to get merged into Krishna, they are thinking about only the Sat feature, which is very, very limited, which Krishna grants to the demons who he killed. So the Shakatasura, the Bakasura, and many asuras who came to Vrindavan, many asuras he killed. So everybody got that, the merging with the Brahman. So that's very temporary part. It's very temporary. After sometimes they'll fall down again. So So that's where normally people, they think I'm just meditating and I'll just merge when when my material body goes, and then I'll merge there. But Krishna gives that position to whom? Demons. So here, very less intelligence, right? Many times Krishna says the less intelligent abuddha are to impersonalist, and they want to just merge with the Brahman. And in 10.42, but what needs is there Arjuna for all this detailed knowledge, right? In the 10th chapter, what does Krishna give? Krishna says about his the Ishwarya, the Lord's opulence. He tells, right? And that and this, so many things. He say, Rasoham apsukanteya prabhasmi shashi suryayo, right? And the water and the taste of the water and the light of the sun and the moon. So many things Krishna says, describes many things. But then last, what he says, but what is the need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Ekamshena sthito jagat. Krishna says, Ekamshena, my single fragment of myself, right? The living entity. We all are single fragment. We are the part and parcel of the Lord and of myself. I pervade and support the entire universe in the impersonal form. Krishna is not personally there here in each and everything, but then we can't pursue Krishna with our this material eyes and material things. So Krishna, he says that, okay, you're drinking water, then the devotee, he can't see the Lord. It does not mean rasoham apsukanteya, I'm the, or he says that I'm the banyan tree. That does not mean Krishna, when the devotees see the banyan tree, it flies into and becomes Krishna. Not like that. Devotee sees that banyan tree as the energy of the Lord. When he drinks the water, he says that this is the energy of the Lord. So that is the idea. The energy of the Lord, it pervades and supports the entire universe. This is the fragmental. This is the spark. So even in Brahma Samhita 5.40, what does Krishna says? What is here about Lord? It is said, Yasya prabhava prabhavato jagadanda koti kotis asheshva vasudhadi vibhuti binnam tad brahmanishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So that the Brahma Jyoti is Brahman of the Lord. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is the source of non-differentiated Brahman. So Krishna's Brahma Jyoti is itself Brahman. Okay, so this proves that Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. Kotis Ashesha Vasudha Vibhuti Binnam. So being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe appears as the indivisible infinity, limitless, and truth. So here the effulgence of the Lord is said to be non-different from the Brahman realization. So people, they normally about the Brahman. So now what is this shloka saying here about why Krishna, why this prayer is that Hiranmayena Patrena, you're covered by what? You're covered by your Brahman feature. That's the effulgence. Krishna is covered by the effulgence of his body. So why it is said here, why Krishna has to remove this, right? Why should Krishna remove this? And what is that that's coming? That's the Yogamaya potency of the Lord. She's covering Krishna. So if we want to do the devotional service, why we are doing devotional service, why we are chanting, so that the Lord shows his beautiful face in front of me and I could see that. So now he has covered, right? Because we are not spiritually elevated. Even though Krishna comes in front of us, we can't get to know that he is Krishna because we are still attached to this material world. We are still attached to this material world because of this. Even though Krishna comes in front of us, we can't see him. Krishna is there every moment, but we are not able to see. That's what the Uttamadhikaris, they can see the Lord everywhere. They're the true seer. But then, because they have true knowledge about the Lord, but we are in this conditioned form, and even though Krishna comes, we cannot see him because we are covered by the Mahamaya potency, and Krishna covers himself with the Yogamaya potency, like a curtain, right? What does curtain do? The non-transparent curtain, you can't see the front side or the inner part of that, what is there on the other side of that curtain, right? That's how Krishna is covered himself with the effulgence of the Lord. And this is said at the time of death, please remove that covering so that I can see your lotus face. So what are the 5 rasas that we understood that the Bhagavan feature is the topmost? So what are the 5 rasas? Yes, Shrida Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, they are Shant Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, and the highest one is Madhurya Rasa.
Yes,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Yes,
Thank
yes,
you,
Mataji. Yeah. So all these rasas, right? So here, why we are speaking about these rasas, right? What is the difference of the rasa of the Paramatma feature, the Brahman feature, and the Bhagavan feature? What is there in the difference about that? So Krishna in the Brahman feature does not have, we cannot relate to Krishna in any rasas. We cannot relate to him in any rasas. But then when you come to the Paramatma feature, that's the Chaturbhuja form, he's in the, where is he? In the Vaikunta with all his effulgence and Aishwarya Bhav. There you can't see Krishna's, the Vishnu's mother, you never heard. Vishnu's father, you never heard about such things going in the Vaikunta. Vishnu is running and mother is going to catch him. No, such leelas doesn't happen in Vaikunta, right? Such leelas does not happen. So why? There is only the Dasya Bhav and Shanta Rasa and Dasya Rasa. There are only 2 rasas in Vaikunta. That's the 400 feature of the Lord, right? Even in the 11th chapter, when Arjuna asked to show him Vishwarupa, he said this is just a temporary form. We understood that this is just a temporary form, and then Arjuna requested him to take 400 form. But then still Arjuna was not satisfied, because he was in which rasa? He was eternally in Sakya Rasa, and Vishnu does not have that Sakya Rasa. Who has that Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, and Madhurya Rasa? That's Krishna, not Vishnu form of the Lord. So then later, Krishna show him the 200 form of the Lord, and Krishna says, this is very difficult to see even for the demigods and the great sages, the 200 form of the Lord. But normally we reverse it in this material world. We think that 200 form is just like a human form. We take Krishna to the human platform, and then we think the Vishnu has created Krishna, but that's not true. And then we think that the impersonalists think that the universal form is the greatest form. But then Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita that the 200 form of the Lord is very, very dear to his devotees. Why? Because they can have 5 rasas with him. What are that? The Shanta rasa, right? Becoming Krishna's cow, Krishna's flute, Krishna's pet, right? Krishna's dress, Krishna's garland, Krishna's mukut, and everything is in the Shanta rasa. And then comes the Dasya rasa, the servants of the Lord Krishna, right? And then comes Sakya rasa. That's the friendship, the Gopas, they have friendship with the Lord. The Arjuna is the greatest friend of the Lord, right? The Sakya rasa. And then comes Vatsalya rasa, Mother Yashoda, right? Nanda Baba and elderly gopis of the Vrindavan. They run behind Krishna to beat him. Why? Because It's not in the material platform, it's in the spiritual platform. Why Krishna is running with so much fear in the Damodar Leela? The Kampashru, the body is getting shivered, and his eyes are with great fear, and tears are coming by seeing his mother holding a stick. Why it is happening there? Because it's not from the material point of view. We should think in the point of the spiritual point, that Krishna is getting more and more pleasure with his devotees. Why Mother Yashoda always make Krishna sit in his lap and protects him tightly? Why? Because Krishna wants to get protected by his devotees. Krishna protects his devotees, but more pleasure Krishna gets is when devotees try to protect Krishna, because Krishna does not want any protection. But then when devotees protect, devotees want to chastise Krishna, they scold Krishna, they make fun of Krishna. Krishna loves it. Why? Because it's the spiritual platform. And that's the Vatsalya Bhav. Vatsalya Bhav, Yashoda Maya chastise Krishna. She ties Krishna for his naughtiness, right? He does so many naughty things in Vrindavan, right? When Vishnu wants to eat butter, Mother Lakshmi, she brings in a big pot with golden pot with all the diamonds, and she fills that pot with the butter, and she then gives to Vishnu. But then when Krishna wants to eat butter, how many pots you keep in front of him, he will not eat. He will only eat butter by robbing somebody else's home. That's Krishna. Why? Because Krishna loves those things. Krishna loves when he's called as butter thief, right? In Vrindavan, he's most naughtiest baby, and he's most naughtiest boy in Vrindavan. And Balaram, Krishna Balaram pastimes are so dear to the devotees, but then foolish cannot understand. Why? Krishna says he covers himself with Yogamaya potency, and the foolish are covered by the Mahamaya potency, so they can't see the Lord's pastimes. And then comes the Vasalya rasa, and then the Madhurya rasa is the topmost. Why? Krishna is getting more pleasure with all the gopis and Radharanis. We should never take that leelas into the material platform. Oh, Krishna has so many gopis, why can't I have? No, that's in the spiritual platform, and we are in this material platform. We are conditioned by the material modes of nature, and Krishna is never conditioned by anything. He is Supreme Lord, right? He is the purest. He is the pavitram, right? He is the purest, and we should not take Krishna as one of the normal person. He makes himself like a human like form. Krishna just like a human form, right? Many of them say Krishna was impersonal and then took a human form, but Krishna was already with 200 form, right? When we see the son and the when we see the son and the father, do we say that, oh, father is like a son, or we say the son is like father? We say son is like father, son resembles father's face, right? In the same way, Krishna is the supreme father and we are the jiva, and humans got 200 form after we just wanted to imitate Krishna. So Krishna has 200 form, and that's why humans in this, the human being, when they get human body, they have 200 forms. We should not take it reverse. Rather, people take it reverse. Because I have 200 form, God should have 200 form. Not like that. Krishna has already 200 form. Krishna is Bhagavan feature, and the Bhagavan feature has a 200 form, sweet Shamasundara form, just a young teenage boy with crossed like the Tribanga and with holding a flute, and he's so sweet, right? Krishna is so sweet, and that's how Krishna is, and we should not imitate him. And because he has that form, we also wanted to imitate the Lord in this material world, and we wanted to take that form. That's a 200, and the human beings have 200 form after Krishna's form. So here are some of the names of who are in the topmost rasas. So Shanta rasa, I said, right, the flowers around Krishna. So when Krishna, there is a pastime when Krishna plays hide and seek with his gopas, that's friends. So it's very easy to identify where is Krishna to all the gopas. Why? Because wherever Krishna he hides himself, like in the garden. Most of the time they play in the gardens, right, in the forest. So it's very easy to find Krishna, because wherever Krishna hides, the buds in that flower plant, the buds, it just blooms. So the gopas, they see where is the flower blooming, and they see, oh, there is one place, that's corner, there the flower is blooming, there is Krishna over there. So when they go and find Krishna is sitting over there hiding, he's thinking that no one can find me, but then gopas find. And when he asks, how did you find me? No, Krishna, wherever you are, the flowers automatically bloom. Whether it's afternoon or night, it automatically blooms because Krishna's presence is there. So they are in the Shanta Rasa. They want to give their sweet smell to Krishna. So they are also serving Krishna, but then in the Shanta form. The flowers want to serve Krishna by the flowers, the fragrance. So they bloom. They just open up. And the friends of Krishna, they find, oh, there is Krishna over there, and they find Krishna, and Krishna is caught. So so the flowers also want to give the service to the Lord. His flute, right, his flute, and the stick of Krishna when he goes for cowherd, and the cows itself, they give so much milk to Krishna, and with so much love, the cows automatically pours the milk in the ground. And you all know that Gopastami, when Gopastami was there, and Gopastami means Krishna is now turning to 6 years old, and now he has to till 5 years. There was a rule in Vrindavan that till 5 years the cowherd boys will take only the calves, not huge the cows, because they are very huge and the small boys can't handle them. So Krishna was given calf till the age of 5, and then at the age of 6, now he's going to take cows with him. So with huge with who are bigger than the cows. So Yashoda Maya was little bit nervous, that because Krishna is so is child for Yashoda Maya, and she was very much thinking that, oh, Krishna has to go so long, because cows, they can't feed with little, they want big much quantity of the grass, and they have to go to Govardhan and so many places. So she was a bit worried about that. But then the previous day of Gopastami, the cows, they automatically came to know that from tomorrow Krishna is going to take them to cow herding. So all these elderly cows, that's the mother cows, they, with ecstasy that Krishna is going to take them, they went to all those places, and they thought that Krishna always goes in a barefoot. Krishna never wears the sandals or the shoes. Why? Because he wants to give mercy to the Vrajadham, the dhuli, right? That's why the dhuli of Vrajadham is very much it's very great. So because of this, because Krishna never wore sandals or shoes, because he wanted to touch the Vraja Bhumi by his bare lotus feet. So the cows thought the Krishna wants to go with us, but then he always goes in a barefoot. So they thought before the day of Gopastami, in the evening time, when cow comes home back, so all the cows, they went all over the place where Krishna takes them for cow herding next day. So they went there and they crushed by their leg all the pebbles, the stones, and so many hard things. They crushed and poured the milk, because they were crushing so hard. They had so much love for Krishna inside them, and automatically their breasts start giving milk, and wherever the cows went, the mud became so soft by the milk of the cows automatically poured with the ecstasy of love for Krishna, and the stone were getting crushed. And next day when Krishna, he was about to go, Yashoda Maya said, Krishna, don't go like this, my dear, because your legs will get burnt somewhere, because it's very hot in Vrindavan, and the stones are also there. So you please wear the shoes for your foot. So then Krishna said, if you want me to wear the foot, then you should also give the cows also the 4 pairs, the two pairs equally, that the 4 shoes also, because, and there are not 1 or 2 cows, there are 2 lakhs of cows where Krishna is going to taking to the Govardhan. And Krishna said that not just me, all the cows will also get shoes if I wear shoe. So Yashoda Maya said, okay, you go barefoot now. So she left, because it's impossible to give all the cows all the shoes and so many ornaments. So she said, you better go in the barefoot. And when Krishna was going, the Vraja Bhumi, the land of Vrindavan, it became so soft because cows were continuously pouring milk from their breast, and it became so soft, so cool. And that's love and service by the cows to Krishna. That's also Shantarasa. They don't speak, but they show love to Krishna by all these things. So in the Dasya Rasa, the Chitraka, Patraka, and Raktaka. So these are the servants of the Lord when he went to Mathura. And then the Sakya Rasa, the Baladeva, Sridhama, Sudhama, right? And the Vatsalya Rasa, the Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, and all the elderly gopis who used to see Krishna as their own son. They used to give more attention to Krishna than their own son. So Madhurya Rasa is Radharani and the gopis. And we understood what exalted position Radharani is in the nectar of instruction last verses, right? We understood how exalted is Radharani and her position among all the gopis. The impersonal as bewildered. So by the glaring effulgence of the Brahma Jyoti, if one wants to see the absolute truth in full, one has to penetrate beyond 24 elements. A body is made up of 24 elements. The glaring effulgence. Brahma Jyoti is described as in the 14.2, and we went to these shlokas previously. And Mukunda Upanishad, Mandaka Upanishad, that's 2.2.10 to 12 mantra is there. You can read in the purport. So just a question, what is Hiranmaya Patra? What is it? Hiranmaya Patra?
The golden
Yes,
bowl,
Shreya.
Mataji.
Yes, the golden effulgence that is releasing from the Lord's body. So this is the second shloka, and we'll end it by the second shloka. Next week, we'll take other 2 remaining shlokas, that's the 17 and 18. This is the 16th one. So what does this shloka? I'll just go through the translation. Of my Lord, O primeval philosopher, maintainer universe. So this is the continuation of 15th mantra. This is still the prayers going on. And here, O regulating principle, the destination of the pure devotees, well-wisher and progenitor of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss, Ananda. You are the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, like unto the sun as I am. So Lord is Ekarakshe, primeval philosopher, and Pushan, the maintainer. Right? The Poshana, the Pushan means the maintainer of the universe, cannot be impersonal. So when there is a thing and there is a maintainer, the maintainer cannot be impersonal, right? Maintainer means there is the person, he's the person. So the maintainer of the universe cannot be impersonal. Although the Lord maintains all beings, he specifically maintains his devotees and the well-wishers. The devotees of the Lord see him eyes to eye by his causeless mercy. Krishna's causeless mercy. By his causeless mercy, devotees can see. Which is the Leela going on here? Can you write in the chat box which Leela is this? Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Madhurya Rasa. Ras Leela. Ras Leela.
No, just see the picture properly, Mataji. What is going on here?
Lord Krishna shows his all that he's self-pervading in the whole universe, Mataji.
Okay, but then that is not. I'm asking the Leela. Can anybody tell me?
Damodar Leela.
No. Thank you, Mataji, but that's not the right answer. Sridhar Mataji, what Leela is going on here? Who are these people? What are they doing here?
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's the Brahma Leela when the Brahma hides all the Gopas of Krishna, then the Krishna himself takes the form of the Gopas, that is the Sakhas around him, and he gives pleasures to the parents. So after 1 year, when Brahma comes back to earth to see what has happened, then he is astonished to see that there are all the Gopas are still there, which he has hidden in the Swargaloka. Then he comes and asks for forgiveness, and he realizes that all the Gopas are actually Krishna himself, and he has taken the form, and this is his Brahma Leela.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. That's Brahma Vimohan Leela. So what's happening here, right? As Mataji already said, and you all have written in the chat box also, it's Brahma Vimohan Leela. There are plenty Brahmas here, and these are all the Vishnu forms of the Lord, right? So what is happening? Brahma Vimohan, he is in the Vimohan. He is not able to understand who this boy is, because when Krishna was sitting with all his Gopas friends, and Krishna was having lunch. So how Krishna has lunch? So that's very much like a human being, very much like a human being. And Brahma got bewildered. This boy, you claim this boy is God, this boy is the Lord, the Supreme Lord, and he was bewildered because he was not able to see the power of the Lord here. So here, why? Because Krishna was having lunch in the way that all the sakas sit around him, and uh, somebody puts one rasgulla or something in Krishna's mouth, inside mouth, and Krishna snatches another food from another cowherd boy from his mouth. He puts hand inside the mouth of another cowherd boy and pulls it and eats it. So Krishna does all these sweet pastimes, and only the great exalted devotees can see. And Brahma is also great devotee, but he got bewildered by the scene. And he saw this is the supreme personality of Godhead, like this playing with the boys, and he could not understand. So, and then got bewildered. Right, then he kidnapped the cowherd boys with the calves of Krishna. And then what does Krishna do? He shows his opulence. He spreads into all the cowherd boys, all the calves, all the monkeys around Vrindavan, and whoever were friends of Krishna, he expands to those and gives all the forms, and then sends to their mothers. So cows were giving so much milk to the calves. They were not giving milk to the citizens, rather they were giving milk to calves more, because the Vatsalya Bhav is increasing in each and every home of Vrindavan, because Krishna was present there in the form of their son and the calves and the monkeys. Why? Because of this Leela. So when this happened, so Even Brahma got bewildered after he came, because Brahma's 1 millisecond is equal to our 1 year in earth. So Krishna was on earth, and Brahma, he just kept the cowherd voice and just glanced over the earth, and it was 1 year. And Brahma knew that it became 1 year on earth, and he just went to see what happened. What is that cowherd boy doing now? And then he saw all the people who were there, who he kidnapped, were there in Vrindavan. He could not understand. And when he came to the real knowledge, he saw that all of them are Lord. All of them are the Lord's potency here. And when he saw that his own friends, that's Krishna's friends, were sleeping in Brahma Nidra, in Brahma Loka, he saw that at the same time in the earth, Krishna was playing with his cowherd boys in the that means he was itself in the form of cowherd boys, and he was playing with those. And Krishna's potency is shown here. So all the Lord maintains all being. He specifically maintains his devotees and well-wishers. So he wanted to teach a lesson to Brahma. So when Brahma prayed, such an exalted devotee, when Brahma prayed to Krishna in Bhagavatam, if you can see in the 10th canto is a huge canto, because it is said about the Lord's personal form and the leelas, the pastimes of the Lord. So it's a huge canto, and Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are relishing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So in that, when the Brahma Vimohan Leela, after this Brahma Vimohan Leela, all the cowherd boys were kept, all the cowherd boys were sent back to the earth and were playing with Krishna. The Brahma prayed. Brahma was called, not just this Brahma, he called the Brahmas of huge universes apart from our Brahmanda. So there are Ananta Koti Brahmand. That's why we tell Krishna, right? Ananta Koti Brahmand Nayak. That's why Krishna is told like that, because he just does not, we know only this Brahma in this world, and Brahma is just a position. So Brahma is just a position. Any living entity who is qualified to become Brahma can become Brahma for certain years. So that's there, and there are thousands and millions of Brahmandas, and Krishna called all the Brahmas, and some had 4 heads, some had 5 heads, some had hundreds of heads. It depends upon their knowledge of the Lord. And our Brahma is Chaturmukhi Brahma, the 4-headed Brahma. So that, and called everybody, and Brahma was again bewildered. He was thinking he's the only one Brahma and there is no other Brahma, because he was limited to this knowledge that he's only the Brahma. But then when Krishna showed millions and millions of Brahma, he came to know I'm just a small living entity. I'm just a spark of Lord. I'm not equivalent. I cannot even understand the Lord's position. So what we are, how we can understand the Lord's position? By his causeless mercy. By Krishna's causeless mercy, we are able to understand. How we can understand Bhagavad Gita so easily? So easily by mercy of the Lord. Without mercy, we try to read thousands and thousands times Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's words, we cannot understand. But only by his mercy, and we got mercy through Srila Prabhupada, because he wrote Bhagavad Gita in a very simple way, we could understand it. Right? So that's the mercy of the Lord. And sun and its rays analogy. So as they are same qualitatively, so there is sun, and the rays of sun use the heat as much as the sun itself, right? But then the sun is huge in quantity, and the sun rays are just a particle. In the same way, the Lord is there, we are just the part of the Lord. We are qualitatively same. Heat, light, right? The sun rays also give the heat and light. The Lord also, the sun also gives the heat and light. But then quantitatively sun is huge and the sun rays is just a particle. In the same way, quantitatively we are very small, and Lord is he is unlimited. So living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function to render immediate service to the Lord. So in Bhagavad Gita preface, Prabhupada writes that his immediate, what is our immediate reaction when we come to know that we are the Lord's servant is just to do the service, right? What is the duty of the servant? Is to serve the Lord. So when we come to know we are just a part and parcel of the Lord, we are just a servant of the Lord, it's our duty to serve the Lord, right? Why we are unhappy? We are opposed to service of the Lord. We are opposed to the service of the Lord. Because of that, we are unhappy. How to become happy? We have to serve the Lord with sincere and topmost devotion. So sun is one, but the molecules of sun rays are innumerable. The sun is one, but then his energies, the particles are innumerable. That means this Lord is one, and his molecules, right? He's there in each and every part. He's innumerable at the same time. The sun rays constitute the part of the sun, and the sun and its rays conjointly constitute the complete sun. So here the Brahma Jyoti. Can anybody read this?
Hare Krishna Mataji is described in Brahma Samhita as rays emanating from the Goloka Vrindavan, just as the sun rays emanates from the sun globe. Without surpassing the glare of Brahma Jyoti, one cannot receive information of land of the Lord. Impersonal philosophers are blinded by the dazzling Brahma Jyoti. They cannot realize the world nor his transcendental form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Samhita is the ray of emitting from the Goloka Vrindavan. So, as Krishna says, his abode is transcendental, it's self-effulgent. The effulgence is coming from Golok Vrindavan. So, we saw this Goloka chart, right? Whereas Golok Vrindavan is very up in the huge. After Vaikunta, the topmost is Golok Vrindavan. So, from there, the effulgence is coming so much that it reaches below here, below the Kailash. So, the merging with the Lord happens over here, but then there is Paramatma feature, that the Chaturbhuja form, that's Vaikunta, and then above that is Golok Vrindavan, that's the topmost Goloka. And if you see in the Goloka chart, aside, the side of that Goloka chart, the explanation is given about the Goloka chart and about the Goloka, the Vaikunta, and the material world. All this, how it is stepped one after the other. All the explanation is given, and all the incarnation, how Krishna expands to the Chatur Vyuhas, and then the Sankarshna again expands to the Vishnu, and then the Vishnu again expands to Chatur Vyuhas, the Sankarshna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, and Pradyumna. And then comes the Mahasankarshna, and then he comes to the Purusha avatars, that is the Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and the Kshirodakashai Vishnu. And Mahavishnu is the one who gives all the planets. He breathes out all the planets, all the creation. And Garbhodakashai Vishnu, he goes into individual Brahmandas, he creates the variations in the Brahmandas. And then comes the Kshirodakashai Vishnu, who resides in each and every individual heart. So Krishna itself, but then the first expansion of Krishna is Balaram. And then comes Chaturvyuhas, that is the Shankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Vasudeva. So after that, the Sankarshana again expands to the Vishnu in the Vaikunta. And even in the Vaikunta, there are Chaturvyuhas. That's again Vishnu expands to Sankarshna, Mahasankarshna, then Aniruddha, Vasudeva, and Pradyumna. That Mahasankarshna, he comes down to this material world, and he creates the material world as Mahavishnu, and then he enters into each world as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu and creates variations and gives birth to Lord Brahma. And then inside all the living entities, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is also there. So all these are the Purusha avatars of Lord Krishna. So there are many avatars. So here the Golok Vrindavan is so effulgent. The effulgence, the emanation is coming just as the sun rays emanates from the sun globe. So Golok Vrindavan is compared to the sun globe, and the rays are compared to the Brahma Jyoti. Without surpassing the glare of Brahmajyoti, one cannot receive the information of the land of Lord. So the Brahmajyoti is just like a huge wall. After that, when you cross that wall, you can see what is there on the either side of that. So Brahmajyoti, after completing this, you can see the spiritual world. So there is a huge gap between the material world and spiritual world. And first is the beginner stage is Brahmajyoti. So we are not focusing on the Brahmajyoti, we are focusing on the Golok Vrindavan, which is the topmost. So impersonal philosophers are blinded by the dazzling Brahmajyoti. They only know this. So now, who people who are impersonalist, why Krishna is saying a Buddha, why Krishna is saying they are foolish number one, why Krishna is saying Mudha, we can't understand in Bhagavad Gita. Now we understand why Krishna is saying them Mudha, because Brahmajyoti is only this. And they tell this is the conclusion. They don't know there is spiritual world also, right? So when Brahma created the Chatush Kumara, the four Kumaras, they thought that this is the topmost. And Brahma said, no, there is the topmost, there is Vishnu. And they wanted to enter to Vaikuntha, but then in the doorstep, you all know what was the pastime happening. And when Vishnu heard this, and he himself came out of the Vaikuntha doorstep, and he showed his transcendental form with Mother Lakshmi. And then Chatush Kumaras, they smelled the tulsi in the lotus feet, and they were Brahmavadis before seeing Vaikuntha, before seeing Lord Vishnu. They were Brahmavadis. They were saying merging with the Brahman is topmost. But later, when they smelled the tulsi on the lotus feet of the Lord, they became the devotees of the Lord. So, and they started doing devotional service. They did not enter into Vaikuntha because they were not doing devotional service. So why it is important to do devotional service? Why we chant? Why we do all this devotional service? Just to enter to the Lord, and not just enter there, we should do the service. So so that is idea, the Paramatma, right? I said the Dhruv Maharaj, he saw the Paramatma feature of the Lord. Paramatma. So now we understood about the Brahmajyoti. What about the Paramatma? Paramatma is controller. The Atma is controlled. So that's the difference between Param Atma and Atma. That's why we tell, right? Paramatma is different, Atma is different. They cannot be one at any time. At any time. People say Paramatma is also in the heart and Atma is also in the heart, and somewhere I heard that people say that Bhagavad Gita is said by the Paramatma to the Paramatma. That's the wrong conclusion. We are Atmas and Paramatma is also there in the heart. There are two individuals in our heart. Right? We should always know this. There cannot be one. Paramatma fully cooperate with Atma, so is known as the constant companion of the living entity. The Lord always helps his devotees by imparting necessary knowledge, right? Where does Krishna says this? That he gives the knowledge to understand, to go back to Krishna, where he says this in Bhagavad Gita. Anybody knows this? Yes. Okay. You can write in the chat also. it is said that the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam, right? Krishna gives the knowledge to understand him and go back to him, despite all the darkness of ignorance, right? He also says that he will take the tama of the heart by Jnana Deepena Bhashvata, which is the shloka, 10th chapter, yes, the 4 shlokas, the Chatushloki, right? The 4 shlokas, correct, the Chatushloki, right? Krishna says in the end that because evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavasta jnana deepena bhashvata. He gives the knowledge, while the speculative philosophers, what happens to the speculators? Krishna says in the 6th chapter also, right? What happens to the speculators? The yogis depends upon their own strength. Now think you are in an ocean. Okay, you are fallen in the ocean, or there is a flood everywhere in the city, and you are just nowhere, and no people are visible to you. You are just there. And now, what is the position of jnanis and yogis? They want to swim on this ocean and they want to pass this ocean. If you are left in that ocean, can you just go on swim off the ocean? Can you do that by your own strength? No, right? In the same way, the yogis and the jnanis, they just want to pass this bhavasagar by their own strength. But that's not true. That cannot be happening. That's why the devotees, they take shelter of the Lord. Because Lord is not bound by any maya. Krishna says, I'll take your Maya, I'll take this Mahamaya, just surrender to me. Right? Those who are not perfect as pure devotees, namely who are realized, those who realize Paramatma or Brahman, cannot appreciate. Yes, we were here, no? The Paramatma feature. Sorry, the internet connection was there. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we were here, right? The Paramatma feature of the Lord. So what happened to Dhruv Maharaj after seeing the Lord's beautiful form? What happened to him?
Hare Krishna Mataji, as soon. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
So after Dhruva Maharaj saw Lord Vishnu, he asked for he forgot to ask for the kingdom, but he he overcame with with devotion for the Lord, and he was granted a higher Dhruva lok in the Brahma, in the sky, Mataji. He's
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yeah,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah. So he was awarded with the Dhruva Loka, which is eternal. It is said that even though the whole, it is inside this material world itself, but then even though the whole material world gets devastated, but the Dhruva Loka will never get, because Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is present there personally. So it's a Vaikunta inside material world. So devotees are granted such benediction because they do devotional service to the Lord. So after seeing the Paramatma feature, he started doing the devotional service. He forgot his material things. So what is the Bhagavan feature? The Bhaga means one who fully maintains or guardian. Ga means guide, leader, and creator. And syllable Van indicates that every living entity lives in him and that he also lives in every living being. So here the Bhagavan feature of the Lord is said. And what does that mean? The Bhaga, Bha means he's the guardian. So when we understood the Bhaga means he is opulent. Right? That was understood by us. He is opulent, and who has the topmost opulence is Bhagavan. So another is about, it is broke into 3 syllables. That's the Bha, that's one who is guardian. Ga means is the leader or the creator, and one means he is the where all the living entity reside in him, and he also lives in every living entity. So that's the feature of the Bhagavan. So here devotees, he loves his devotees and he grants protection to his devotees. Name Bhaktya Pranashati. So Arjuna, you declare that my devotees never perish. Why? Krishna is guarding them. The Lord is the cause of all causes. He is the origin of causes. Since there is nothing that caused him. So nothing causes, who makes God, or who is topper than the God? God himself. Nothing. Okay, that was the Bhagavan feature of the Lord we discussed. And yeah, that was the end of the PPT. And we completed 2 shlokas of Ishopanishad. So just wanted to give a brief introduction, and also about the slides. We went a bit detail about this because these are prayers of the Lord, prayers to the Lord. So just wanted to go in detail about this, and what is Brahmajyoti and Bhagavan feature, how it is differentiated, and because Krishna wants to give protection to his devotees personally, he is Bhagavan, and we saw that how Krishna is personally taking service from his dear devotees in Vrindavan in the Bhagavan feature. Right? Next week we'll go in detail about the next 2 shlokas or the mantras. That's the 17 and the 18. Okay. So yes, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please fill the attendance form. Okay. and also